Hold up, did Meghan Markle really thus pull what I think she pulled? Because you guys, this timeline is absolutely wild, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. We're talking about a situation so perfectly timed, so beautifully choreographed in its pettiness, that it could be a masterclass in competitive behavior. And honestly, the receipts are all there. Before we dive into this absolute mess, can we just take a moment? Over 50,000 of you are tuning in from literally every corner of the planet. LA, London, Sydney, Mumbai, and every single time I see those numbers climb, I'm genuinely blown away. You're not just watching, you're building this community with me. So, if you're loving the drama and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, what are you even doing? Smash it, turn on notifications, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, because I love seeing this family grow. Alright, let's get into it. So here's what went down, and trust me, the dates are about to do all the heavy lifting here. Abigail Spencer, yes, Meghan's friend, the one people literally call her clone, because they look so similar, it's borderline uncanny, just landed the lead role in a brand new Fox series called Best Medicine. And I'm not talking about some minor supporting character or a friend number 3 situation. This is the female romantic lead opposite Josh Charles, who you probably remember as Will Gardner from The Good Wife. This is a big deal. This is network television. This is career-defining stuff. The trailer dropped on November 3rd. Remember that date. Write it down. Tattoo it on your brain, because it's about to become very important. Now, Fox doesn't mess around. When they greenlight a series and cast a lead, they're investing serious money, serious production value, serious everything. And Abigail, she's front and center, playing the romantic lead in what looks like a genuinely solid show. For any actor, this is the kind of role you dream about, the kind that changes your trajectory, the kind that gets you recognized, gets you more opportunities, gets you into rooms you couldn't access before. So naturally, you'd think her best friend would be over the moon, right? Posting about it, hyping it up, telling everyone to tune in when it premieres. You know, normal supportive friend behavior. But here's where it gets absolutely delicious. 3 days later, 3 days, November 6th rolls around, and suddenly out of absolutely nowhere Meghan announces she's landed a cameo role, not a lead, not a recurring character, not even a significant supporting part, a cameo. Which, for those who don't know, is basically a glorified blink and you'll miss it appearance. It's the acting equivalent of showing up to a party for 5 minutes just so you can say you were there. Now, I want you to really sit with that timeline for a second. November 3rd, Abigail's massive career moment. November 6th, Meghan's announcement. 72 hours, that's it, that's all the time it took. And if you think I'm reading too much into this, just wait, because it gets better. Not only does Meghan announce this tiny cameo role, but she then proceeds to tell everyone, and I mean everyone, that she's been absolutely flooded with acting offers, swamped, drowning in opportunities, can barely keep up with all the scripts landing on her doorstep. Apparently, girl, if you're genuinely drowning in major acting opportunities, why are you only announcing a cameo? Where are these other roles? Why aren't we hearing about anything substantial? Because let me tell you something about this industry: when actors are genuinely booked and busy with significant projects, they're announcing series regulars, they're announcing film leads, they're announcing multi-episode arcs. They're not announcing cameos and then acting like they just won the lottery. This is like your friend getting promoted to CEO and you responding 3 days later by announcing you got Employee of the Month at your local coffee shop, and then telling everyone you've been offered management positions at Starbucks locations worldwide. The math isn't amazing. And look, I'm all for celebrating small wins. Every opportunity matters. But the timing here, that's what makes this whole situation absolutely transparent. Because this isn't about Meghan landing a cameo. This is about Meghan landing a cameo 3 days after her lookalike friend landed a lead role in a Fox series, and then immediately inflating her own situation to make it sound comparable. Let's talk about Abigail for a second, because honestly, good for her. She's out here putting in the work, going to auditions, landing substantial roles, building her career brick by brick. Best medicine, in some low-budget streaming project that'll disappear after one season. This is Fox. This is primetime. This is the kind of visibility that opens doors. And she's sharing the screen with Josh Charles, who's not just talented, but respected. That's the kind of co-star who elevates your work, who brings credibility to a project. When I watched the trailer, I was genuinely impressed. The production quality is there, the chemistry looks solid, and you can tell this is a real investment from the network. Abigail, just in the show she is the show. Alongside Josh. That's huge. Now contrast that with a cameo. A cameo is what you do when you want to support a friend's project, or make a quick appearance for fun, or fulfill a contractual obligation. It's not something you announce like it's a career milestone unless you're desperately trying to stay relevant in a conversation that's happening without you. And that's exactly what this feels like. Abigail got her moment, her genuinely earned, well-deserved, substantial moment, and Meghan couldn't just let her have it. She had to jump in, make her own announcement, and then exaggerate it beyond recognition to make sure she was part of the narrative too. Here's the thing about genuine friendship. When someone you truly care about succeeds, you celebrate them without feeling diminished. You hype them up, you tell everyone you know to watch their show, read their book, support their business. You don't wait 3 days and then announce your own thing to redirect attention. But this isn't genuine friendship behavior. This is competitive, jealous, I can't let you shine without making sure I'm shining to behavior. And it's so transparent that it's actually embarrassing. You know what's really interesting? This whole dynamic with Meghan surrounding herself with women who look like her. Abigail Spencer has literally been called Meghan's doppelganger. They could be sisters. And there's something psychologically fascinating about someone who specifically cultivates friendships with people who are essentially mirror images of themselves. What does that say about control, about validation, about the need to see yourself reflected back constantly? I'm not a psychologist, but when your friend who looks like you gets a massive acting opportunity and your immediate response is to compete rather than celebrate, that tells a story. That reveals something about how you view relationships, success, and attention. The pattern here is crystal clear. Abigail achieves something major. Meghan immediately needs to announce something of her own, regardless of scale. Then she inflates the significance by claiming she's overwhelmed with opportunities. It's reactive, it's insecure, and it's the opposite of how confident, secure people operate. Confident people can watch their friends succeed without feeling threatened. They don't need to immediately redirect the spotlight. They don't need to exaggerate their own situations to feel comparable. They genuinely celebrate because someone else's success doesn't diminish their own worth. But that's not what we're witnessing here. What we're witnessing is someone who cannot handle being on the sidelines for even 3 days while their friend gets attention. Someone who needs to insert themselves into every narrative, even when it's not their moment. And honestly, it's exhausting just watching it play out. The dates don't lie. November 3rd versus November 6th. That's not coincidence. That's not random timing. That's a calculated response to someone else's achievement. And the fact that she then went on to claim she's flooded with offers while only revealing a cameo, that's the cherry on top of this mess. I want to know what you guys think about this, because the evidence is right there. The timeline is documented. The contrast between a lead role and a cameo is undeniable. And the behavior pattern is textbook jealousy. So drop a comment and tell me, am I reading this wrong? Or is this exactly as obvious as it looks? Because from where I'm sitting, this is the most perfect example of competitive, jealous behavior dressed up as success. And it deserves to be called out. Hit that like button if this timeline has you shook. Subscribe if you want more celebrity tea this hot, and let me know in the comments where you stand. Because this conversation is just getting started, and trust me, we're not done unpacking this mess.